Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the episode. What?
Of the episode.
Of the episode. I'll redo that one.
Yeah, give it a go.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to episode 38 of the Screen Age podcast. Let's not pretend I did anything stupid there. I'm your host, Connor.
And I'm Rodrigo.
Oh,
And
quiet.
This week's a bit of a weird week.
Yeah.
There feels like there's a lot, but there isn't.
Well, it's
You know?
a lot of just... Okay, this is a thing that I've been noticing a lot lately. This is kind of the main reason why I wanted to even do the show in the first place, was the amount of times I scroll through loads and loads of news and things like that, and it's just like stupid reportings on things no one cares about.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even, if I just go back to one of my things now for a second, and I just scroll up to the top, and I stop. Hang on now. There's just some stupid things that just no one really needs to care about. Like,
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale says she's never been on a real date. I couldn't care.
I could care less. Yeah, that's really stupid. Yeah, like, do people actually care about this? Like, do they?
I don't know. Like, but my issue is, like, that's real tabloid stuff, and it's mixed with, like,
Yeah.
actual important stuff. Like,
Yes.
our next, like, one of the things that we're going to discuss today in movies is just... Well, give me something that we're discussing in movies, because I've run a blank. Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Or even, like, how well the Green Knight is doing. Which is actually something I really do want to talk about, because I genuinely expected this to be just stupid shit. But, because... Yeah, we'll talk about that now, sure. For those of you who don't know what the Green Knight is, it's like an Arthurian, like King Arthur now, style knight movie with Dev Patel. And at beginning, I saw that Edgar Wright got to a screening of it. Edgar Wright is the director of Baby Driver and the Three Cornetto series, so I have a lot of regard for him. He's great. So when I saw this randomly, I thought, okay, he's a lover of movies, and he's always discussed how much he loves movies. So I was like, okay, he's probably going into things in my mentality and just wanted to enjoy something, and then came out and did enjoy it. And he raved about it, and I was like, cool, it's good to see that you really enjoyed it. And now I see more reviews coming out, and it's got like a 9 on independent reviewers, and it's gotten really good reviews. I was like, hang on, could this be a big change from that other King Arthur movie that came out in, was it 2016, that absolutely flopped?
Yeah, it was garbage. I mean, it could be. Apparently, it just looks absolutely beautiful.
Very stylish.
Like, apparently, it's just like the CGI and everything in it is great, and apparently, Dev Patel is just.
Oh yeah, they call him the Hot Knight.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. The man is beautiful.
Yes. So like. Yeah, damn. And I like the thing with this one. It kind of just flew under the radar. It wasn't like really like massively announced or massively like.
It wasn't hyped up to 9.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was kind of like if you were looking for it, or it kind of just popped up somewhere, you knew about it. Other than that, you wouldn't even know it was coming out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, for it to be doing this well,
great.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because usually these type of films either do really well or really, really bad.
Let's not remember.
There's no like.
King Arthur pretty much flopped. and then it was King Arthur the
Yeah.
Last Blade, I think it was. There's actually Legend of the Sword. There's actually been quite a few King Arthur movies, and none of them have done pretty well.
No, and I don't understand why they keep doing King Arthur films.
Yeah,
Like, just why don't you create a new character or a new story or do something different than something that has been done way too many times? Um, but I mean, that's Hollywood, so
yeah. So sticking with
um,
like the Arthurian feel, but not make it actual King Arthur,
exactly.
and doing a nice what looks like the black magic thing. It's just that just looks really cool.
It does. It does. Yeah, it really does look kind of cool. Like,
Something I need to look into to actually watch. 'Cause it's an interesting thing as well. As I said, I've seen on Instagram especially. I saw that's where I see Edgar Wright like ranting about different movies that he watches or talks up. But he had a movie come out about the Sparks brothers, who I actually had no idea about and didn't realize how influential they were. And his movie came out, and I know at the beginning he really he advertised on Instagram quite a bit, and I saw it a lot. And then I just saw like celebrity after celebrity after celebrity starting to like type different reviews about this on Instagram, and like
yeah,
I've never seen this before, and it's kind of started something because I've never seen it before, but now I'm seeing more celebrities post movie reviews. Like that's the first one I saw was with the Sparks Brothers, and then I saw it again with the Green Knight. I saw one or two. I can't remember who it was. I don't want to say it in case I get it wrong. But I know Edgar Wright was one of them that did it, and a few other people started like typing up their reviews about it as well. So it was really cool seeing celebrities starting to like bring in movies to their like daily lives to say this is a great thing that's out now. Do try and go and celebrate it.
yeah. The only thing about this is it makes me think sometimes: are they doing it like truthfully? Like, do they actually think it's good, or is it just more of like I'm trying to look good in the media, or like I'm trying to get like if I review something that Edgar Wright directed, am I trying to get on his good side for his next film?
Yeah. Now
Or
I thought the same thing for a little bit. I was like, okay, that's a big enough actor that's doing this. But then I realized small enough celebrities that wouldn't really like not I don't want to say it's like in relative to other people now that wouldn't
yeah,
really be in a position to do that type of stuff. And it isn't even like actors as well. There are other celebrities that aren't like who don't do acting, who do like presenting and stuff like that, who
yeah,
were reviewing this movie as well. And I also thought the same thing until it was literally like 3 or 4 days ago where Noel Fielding released his like a review of it, and it's been ages since that movie's been out. So it's not
yeah.
like it's a hype train type of thing where a load of people are writing
Okay.
a review about it. This has been like this movie's been out for a while, and now Noel Fielding were like, okay, it's very Noel Fielding to wait for a while to do it, but like it's not. It definitely doesn't come across as trying to get up the
Okay.
the hype for it. It's definitely like it's a lot of producers as well who are reviewed as too. So it's not like it doesn't come across as it's trying to build up hype. It's literally come across as people watch a movie and go, yeah, this is really good. Again, it's been a few times where I've seen movies that are very well received get those reviews, and I don't see the smaller movies getting the reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah. 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 Again, like I'll always take those with a bit of pinch of salt because like it does always feel like until I see someone do a review and just be like, this movie was utter garbage, then I'll be like, yes, okay, now we're getting somewhere because, like all obviously this film was good or whatever and it was reviewed well, but I want them to review a film that was garbage and like be honest about it,
Oh,
and then I'll be like, yeah, I accept this. Like, celebrities starting to do post movie reviews and shit like that.
yeah. Now, I think what they're more so doing is celebrating the good ones. There's a bunch of ones that came out that people just haven't reviewed. Like you'll see one or two
Yeah.
people like post about it, but I think they're literally posting the ones that are like the bigger movies that you should definitely go and see, because there's actually been a few movie releases during the week that I don't know if it's been released now, but like a few movies that I think are coming out really, really soon that I had no idea about, and Old was one of them. You know, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it's like
Yeah, when
it
I
has
didn't even know that was coming out.
it has some form of box office though. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, Old movie box office. 'Cause I thought I saw something.
23rd of July it came out.
Oh my god, did it?
Yeah. It's getting very mixed reviews.
Yeah, and I think that's a thing as
I mean,
well.
that's with any M. Night Shyamalan film, though.
Yeah, any
Like-
recent ones especially. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he has some weird twist there at the end that people don't like.
Sure he does. Wow. In order,
That's his thing.
my spin I was on an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I was typing M and M. Night Shyamalan came up. Yeah. And he's a very interesting, like, director where for a while I thought he was really making a comeback with Split.
You thought he was making a comeback?
Yeah, because, like, we're Split. So, but after, like, beyond Split, so there's
Yeah.
we've had The Visit, which was I only thought it was only okay. I know a lot of people did like it, but I didn't really. It was After Earth, which was not great. Devil, which I don't actually remember. The Last Airbender, which everyone remembers sadly. The Happening, God help us all. The Lady in the Water, I don't remember. The Village was only okay. That was like I think that was his fall. And this is him producer actually. Yeah, same things. He produced and directed a lot of them. Because he had Signs, which was really good, but had a bit of a stupid twist. And Unbreakable is brilliant.
Very good.
And then before that, he had The Sixth Sense, which is also brilliant.
Fantastic.
So
and then we had Stuart Little, which was oof.
did he do Stuart Little? I don't see Stuart Little here.
I see Stuart Little here.
Where do you see Stuart Little? Because I don't see Stuart Little. Oh, he's a writer.
Well, I see it. He's a screenplay, yeah.
You wrote a bit of Stuart Little?
That is a weird one, but it's a great film, nonetheless.
I can't deny that. So, like, he had those bunch of really good ones, and then when The Village came, it was like, oh, okay. And then The Happening came, like, oh, okay. And then Last Airbender, you just go, stop. And then After Earth, they're like, it's not as bad as Last Airbender, but stop. And then you had The Visit, which was like, okay, you're kind of getting there, but we haven't forgiven you yet. And then Split came, we're like, we forgive you.
Yeah, everything you've done up until now has been forgotten.
Yeah.
And then he did Glass, and then he destroyed everything he did
Yeah.
in Split.
And Glass came and we're like, okay, it's good for the most part, but then that ending, so we can we can be like, eh.
That's his thing, is like he's got great films, but he ruins it with the ending every single time. Like, it's just, it's so frustrating, to be honest, because like Glass, like the Unbreakable trilogy or whatever you want to call it, like Unbreakable, Split, and Glass, that could have been one of the best trilogies ever.
Yeah.
Or even just one of the best superhero trilogies ever, because they're kind of considered a superhero film.
They are. Fairness.
But just with the ending, up until the ending of Glass, it was going so well, and then he just destroyed it with the ending, and then no one even considers this as even like probably a top 50 trilogy. Like, it's not even that good anymore, just because of that ending. Why does he do this to himself? Does he enjoy just destroying what he makes, or does he actually think that people like all these twist endings that we're obviously expecting, because he does a twist ending every single time?
Yeah, so, okay. Wow, you got so passionate there. I actually felt anger come out in your voice. Like, I understand. I do like twist endings, and I do think it's like when you're not expecting a twist ending. I think the main issue with him and twist endings is a twist ending is brilliant when you're not expecting it. the
when you don't
whole
expect
thing
it,
about a
yeah.
twist ending is that it's a twist. It's an unexpected turn of events that you have no idea about, and it comes up and you go, whoa, that was cool. But every time you go into an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're like, when's the twist? When's this coming? So it takes you away
Yes.
from the entire time. Now, Split was a bit of it was a bit of an exception because there wasn't necessarily a twist ending. There was more of a
No.
shock at one point where,
Yeah.
and also I can't call it a twist because it's not necessarily a twist. It kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it wasn't a twist.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a Bruce Willis is dead type of twist. It was like, oh, it was kind of like a twist that was fed to you throughout the movie, and then when it hit, you're like, oh, that's great. That's a really good way of getting around this. So it was I can't be called a twist, but it was like, so that's why it was such a good movie in my opinion, that it kind of went away from his stereotypical shitty twist endings. It was just it's a shocking reveal almost. I can't call it a twist.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like twist endings can be great if you're able to, like you said, make it a surprise, make it a twist that like we do not expect a twist coming up. But with him, we expect it every single time without fail. When you see M. Night Shyamalan come up on the screen, you're like, right, when does the twist come? And that's not to say that he hasn't done a great twist. Look at Sixth Sense.
yeah,
That twist at the end is fantastic. So it works. But I think he does it too dramatic or too much that it takes away from the twists, you know?
Yeah.
He just needs to stop with the twists. Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly. He needs to slow down. Not even slow down. He just needs to just relax, as you said, relax a little bit on the twists so that people can come to terms with his movies being more than just their endings. Because everyone just looks for their endings. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
if
dear.
it's really mixed. I don't really I get the premise of it, but I can't see how you could make a movie out of it. For how long is it?
Which?
The movie. Old.
An hour and 50.
How do you make a near 2-hour movie about this?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if I want to waste 2 hours of my life watching this.
I won't.
Yeah, I definitely won't either, unless it comes to like Netflix at some stage. It just doesn't attract me either. You know, the concept of the movie of being on an island and you de-age within seconds or whatever, or however it works, just doesn't appeal to me at all. You know, It's not a thing that I'd be like, oh, how does that work? You know, it's just like, oh, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was our M. Night Shyamalan rant, to be honest. That's
Yeah, so I'm now
gone for a little too long.
randomly clicking through 103 pictures of people's favorite romance couples in Hollywood. So actual people. I don't recognize about half of these people. There's Landon Bloom and
How
Katy
did you
Perry.
even get onto that?
It was actually, I was in IMDb and it was one of the side pictures, and I've now become a major hypocrite because at the beginning of all this we were like,
Yeah.
what, they reported these different things that I don't care, and now I'm currently going through them, but wow, I don't recognize anyone.
You're doing it unironically.
Kinda, yeah. I'm doing it just to see who's with who.
We could move on before
Ellen.
you kind of lose it a little.
Wait, that's who Chris Dunst is married to? Oh, that's cool. Anyway, yeah. What else we got on movies?
So I watched 2 films this week?
I forgot to post. I didn't forget. Actually, I was leaving for a little bit. If you want to talk about one of them, we can post. No. Talk about both. I'll just post a review about both of them.
Yeah. So I got. We watched 2 movies. One was pretty good, and the other one was alright.
Yeah.
Right. The 2 movies I watched were Space Jam and Black Widow.
2 very big movies at the moment.
2 very big movies, probably the biggest out there at the moment. I'll start with Space Jam.
Okay.
And Space Jam was the one that was quite good. It was actually quite funny. It was, I think that's the main takeaway from it. It was quite funny, right? And I think people are just dissing this film for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. I think they forget a couple of things. One, I think they forget that Space Jam is a kid's film.
Yeah.
I think they forget that part. So when these fucking 30, 40, 50-year-olds go watch this film that watched Space Jam when they were younger, the original Space Jam, and go and just slate it because it's not directed to them, is dumb, because it's a kids film.
Yeah.
It's a Looney Tunes film, so what are you expecting? It's a kids film, so forget about that. Second, LeBron's acting was quite bad, right? It was bad. It wasn't great, right? But again, he's a basketball player.
Yeah, what do you
right?
expect?
And and the thing is, and I think they knew his acting was not great.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that, and they played that to their advantage, because for the majority, I wouldn't say for the majority, probably about half of the film, LeBron is an animated character.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to act, he just has to voice act, which is a lot easier than actually having to act. So they saved that by doing him animated. And then there's just a load of like funny, really funny moments. And like, I love the whole like, because they're like, the whole thing is that they're in the Warner Bros. Cyberverse.
Yeah.
So like they have, like, we see like Casablanca, we see the Matrix, we see like DC characters, we see Rick and Morty, like we see all these characters that they own just make a little cameo, like King Kong, the Iron Giant, like all these things are great, and it was so funny, and just be able to see them was great.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed it, and it was actually just like a good kids film to just waste an hour and a half of your day just and have a bit of a laugh. And like, even the people that were in the cinema watching with us were the driest human beings of all time.
Yeah, about right.
Like, only me and my family were laughing at the jokes. Everyone else was just plain face for the whole movie, and I was just like, why even bother coming to the cinema?
Yeah.
Like, there was, okay, maybe some of the jokes are corny, cheesy, whatever. There was one joke, and I don't know if I want to say it because it kind of spoils the joke, obviously, but it was honestly really funny. And even if you hate LeBron or hate the film up until that point, that part was really funny, and no one laughed, and it was kind of like, get out of your own asshole and just enjoy the fucking film.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you the joke?
No, we'll do it
What a
later.
spoiler warning, I guess.
No, we'll save it. We're running out of time.
We'll save it. Okay.
We have another movie to go
And
through.
Black Widow. Eesh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, you know it's bad when you have to take a breath.
the action
Okay.
was quite good. The action was quite good. A little dramatized in the sense that they made Black Widow look more superhero than she actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the sense that like she jumps out of a helicopter, falls probably about 20 meters, maybe a little less, out of a helicopter, and does a superhero landing without breaking her leg or breaking her wrist. So it's kind of like, could she do that? No, she would break a leg.
Yeah.
You know, she's not Thor.
Just to like
You know,
put it into perspective of how high 20 meters is, like that's about what, 2 houses, if not a little more up.
more, maybe more or less.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like a door is 2 meters, so if you put 10 doors up on top of themselves and then look up, that's how far she jumped. Even a door may not be fully. No, you know, a door would be about 2 meters.
It's about 2 meters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you put 10 doors up on top, or yeah, 10 doors up on top
10.
of each other and look up. That's how far she dropped. She isn't a superhero.
Okay, she kind of does use a bit of, like, she kind of holds onto a rope for a little bit, but she's still falling. Like, she's not like she stops and then lands. Like, she falls down this whole thing and lands it, and it's like, okay, we leave it slide, and then she falls off like a 5-story building, and she's hitting off things and lands on her 2 feet.
Oh.
And it's like, and then there's a fight scene with her and her sister, and like she's like throwing her like she's a rag doll, and it's like she's not that strong. Like,
yeah, I was kind of hoping for it to be a little bit more, like a bit more of an intimate movie in the sense of how realistic it could be, because that's where I thought this movie was gonna go with the whole,
yeah,
with the whole just Black Widow movie, because there's no superheroes per se, and even is it Taskmaster? Is that his name in this? The villain, Rod.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
I think they call him the Taskmaster.
Okay,
Yeah.
like he doesn't have a superpower, does he? He's just a guy.
No.
Yeah. So my whole thing for ages was, okay, they're going to make this a bit more realistic feeling because she isn't a superhero, and the villain they're going up against also isn't a super villain. They don't have powers. They just have their own like abilities themselves at being really good soldiers. But then you're telling me all this type of stuff, and it's like, it's that they're doing a bit of like a John. I can't remember which. I think it might have been John Wick 3, where like he falls and hits a bunch of different things and lands in a dumpster and gets up, walks away from it. It kind of takes you away from that moment in John Wick because it's such a like real feeling movie up until then. So this movie doing that as well kind of puts me away from watching it a bit more, because I know it's now not that close, intimate feeling of a realistic movie.
Yeah.
It's just superheroes that are not super.
Yeah, and like the other thing, like that kind of again takes it away from it is like we had this whole family story about like her family that she grew up with, and it's like, okay, this is really nice, this is really cute and all this, and it's like really sad story at the start, and like that part of it is great, but then like we have I think it's the Red Guardian.
Yeah.
I think it's the Red Guardian, and he's a super soldier. He is like Captain America, and he's like the Russian version of Captain America. But they like nerve him so much in this film just to make sure that Black Widow gets the screen.
Yeah.
You know, like they just nerfed him so much. I was just kind of frustrating because it was kind of like he could do this, but they won't let him.
Now, before someone starts fucking thinking, oh, but Batman has done some stupid things as well. No, if we look at fucking, the Dark Knight series, I think in the first one, he gets lit on fire, falls out the window. He doesn't get back up from that because he doesn't have as much armor on. He actually has to get driven home by his fucking butler. Sorry, no, he gets gassed, doesn't he, and then falls out the window. So, like, he does all that type of stuff. And, like, he's a bit human, and that's why those movies feel a lot more intimate. And
Bane
really
breaks his back.
Okay, in all fairness, him getting his back fixed in 2 weeks, I don't believe that for a second. But still, there are still a load of moments that, like, you can see his armor breaking. You can see him not getting up from being hit. So, before someone says anything about that, like, he does have those moments like that, and that's why The Dark Knight especially is so much more real feeling and intimate feeling, because he does get injured. But if Black Widow falls from a fucking helicopter 20 meters up and just does a superhero landing, it takes away from her getting injured.
So like that whole part was kind of frustrating, and then like there was my main thing about this film was we're gonna get some sort of a character progression from Black Widow, but there just wasn't. There just was no character progression for her. It was literally like, let's introduce her sister to replace her.
Yeah.
That was this whole film. And like, because even in Endgame, when Clint and her are trying to get the Soul Stone, and like she's basically like, you have a family, I don't, so like you deserve to live, is completely like blocked out by this film now, because she clearly did have a family, and a family that she cared about. So like, that was just really stupid. It was kind of disappointing, but kind of what I expected at the end of the day. I definitely wouldn't put it in the best films, obviously, of Marvel, but I definitely wouldn't put it as one of the worst films in Marvel.
Oh yeah.
It would definitely be middle ground, but lower middle ground in the Marvel movies. So not terrible, not great, but I mean, this movie is being praised by everyone, so like, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Well,
yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, it's time to move.
Time to move. TV shows?
Absolutely.
Do you want to go?
Well, I think we kind of know what we're going to talk about, and it's kind of like the Bad Batch.
Yeah, Bad Batch. Coming to an end this week, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I really have no idea, because I went to watch it, and it's like episode 13 literally did just come out, right?
On Friday, I believe, yes.
Okay, I couldn't watch it. And it's not because...
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, and it's not because it's, I don't want it to end right there. No. I went on Friday because I was like, okay, I know I'm 2 episodes behind because I need to watch it. And I went to watch it again on Saturday, I think it was, Saturday. And I remember sitting down to watch 2 episodes of this. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I've watched this episode. I watched episode 11, that's grand. I have 12 and 13 to watch. And I watched 12, and it didn't give me an option to go to the next episode. I was like, wait, what? And I replayed the movie, or the episode 12. I was like, okay, maybe it just didn't give me the option. And it just wasn't saying that there was an episode 13 for me. And I went into the extended movie, or like all episodes, and there wasn't the episode 13.
Yeah, that's weird.
I was like, what the fuck?
Are we on 13? Maybe we're wrong. Are we on 13?
I don't know, because I saw a screenshot of the newest episode, and I don't recognize a character in it.
Yeah, episode 13 came on the 23rd, so that was on Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so we have 2 more. There's 15 episodes.
Oh, cool. Those are 14. Yeah, I couldn't see it. I couldn't watch episode 13. I only managed to watch episode 12. And that was it.
Yeah, there is 13 out at the moment, so like, yeah, that's
watch
very strange. But nonetheless, there's actually 16.
Rod.
It says 16.
Let's just keep going. It's not the main point of this.
Yeah. The main point was that apparently episode 13 was underwhelming and kind of poor. And again, because you haven't seen it, we don't know.
Yeah, but I can kind of discuss. The beginning of this show was unreal. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the halfway mark, like, it started doing The Mandalorian, and it started doing the Mandalorian type of, like, go different planets and deal with an issue there, but it had its own feel to it, so it felt kind of fresh and new, because it wasn't one guy talking to someone that he can't talk to. It was a team of 4 or 5, and like they have this smaller clone, and it was shrouded in a bit more mystery than I was expecting it to be when I was going into it. So it has its own feel, and it felt really cool, but I really started getting disappointed with it after about the halfway mark, where it kind of just started falling off, not off the rails now, but it didn't have things that kept me going with it. It didn't have new episodes that were like, yeah, that's really cool. It kind of just trickled by.
It became stale.
Yeah, and it kind of became too much of a. Hey, look at all these things that you should remember if you watch this if you watch this series. Now, the Mandalorian is bad in its own ways for having references to movies or TV shows, like obviously, what's her name, Ahsoka Tano. That's a huge thing. That if you haven't watched if you haven't watched other series, you're not going to get it. But this is even worse to the sense that it's one of the main characters in a show that not many people have really watched, and those who do really like it. Like it's one of the characters from Rebels, so they're constantly showing it. Look at these characters from Rebels. You're like, cool. A lot of people actually haven't watched Rebels. A lot more people have watched the Clone Wars. Why are you focusing so much on this character when she's not going? She's going to be gone in the next episode.
I get that. And do you think the reason why it's I was gonna say it sucks now, but it doesn't.
No.
Like the reason it has lost its like flair or something like that is because there's too many episodes, and it's kind of getting. We're just throwing in filler episodes at this stage, or do you just think that the hype at the start was probably overhyped, and then it after the hype has died down, this is actually what the whole season has been like?
No, I think the hype at the beginning was fed pretty well with their opening few episodes. Like seeing Order 66 again, from a different point of view, and giving you more of a reason why Jedi can escape it was awesome. Then like seeing the different happenings at Kamino, and the Kaminoans having their own like issues as well, was awesome. And then seeing the different planets, and okay, I guess having Fennec Shand come back is like okay, well it was something I was wanting to look over, like. And then seeing the clones as bad guys when you spent so long seeing them as good guys really was such a big hit to your system that I do think for the first few episodes the hype really was fed accordingly. It was really just this hype was worth it.
It was worth it.
And then again, because the first like 6 episodes I was like and then it just kind of started fading. No, sorry, I'll give it a bit more credit. It's more than just the first 6 episodes, because then when Cad Bane came into it, because you haven't seen it by now, like it's been a few weeks now at this point, when Cad Bane came into it, it half felt like a throwback, but at the same time Cad Bane's such a cool character. You're like, damn, he's here now. So all that hype for those moments, those episodes, I felt was justified. But it's in real recent episodes now, like I say, it's from about maybe, I actually think it's about 10 onwards, I think, because we're on 12, 9 or 10 onwards. You're kind of like, it's not fantastic.
Yeah. And again, do you think that's because there's too many and they're just kind of filling it in till the end, or is it just like it's part of the story, it needs to be there, but it's just it doesn't have the same as the first couple?
And I think that's my issue with the last 2 episodes, is that they don't need to be in it. They really don't need to be in the show. I think they're not focusing enough on a major series. I think I thought 14 was a perfect number for this type of show, and it should have stuck to 14. Okay, look, 16's not that much more either, but I think they're just not focusing on the main plot enough. I think they're shoving it a bit too much like The Mandalorian, in the sense of there's a new story every week. That suits The Mandalorian because there's still the air of we're doing this because we need to get the main plot underway. This had a main plot for ages, and then once
got sidetracked.
Yeah, it kind of got sidetracked and never came back. Like there's not really a side plot at the moment anymore. So I feel like it's gonna come back in like, I want it to come back in the next few episodes, that they're really gonna hit hard with coming back to the main type of plot points and stuff like that.
The main story.
The main story. So yeah, I don't know. I don't
kind of underwhelming at the moment.
It's a bit underwhelming at the moment, but I don't think it's because there's too many episodes. I think the writers were, no, I don't want to say they were lazy, but they were definitely sidetracked, and they need to come back.
Okay. But again, we have 3 episodes left on that. 3. Yeah, 3. So I mean, there's still plenty of time for it to come back. 3 good episodes at the end could really redeem the story of this. Because it would be quite disappointing for it to just, crash and burn in the last hurdle, starting off so well.
Yeah.
But again, we 3 weeks time, we will know. And yeah, from one animated show to another, Invincible.
Oh yeah.
So this show kind of came out of nowhere.
I can't say it came out of nowhere. I could say that people just weren't expecting it to be as good as it was.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Invincible is an animated show about like a superhero.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a Western anime, if anything.
Yeah. And it kind of like we said, it was like it was coming, and it was like, there's another anime, whatever, superheroes, and then it kind of just was like, whoa, this is more than that. Like, this was amazing, and apparently it was just absolutely amazing from start to finish. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
And it follows the story of a guy called Invincible, and like we have J.K. Simmons plays Omni-Man, and it got renewed for the 2nd season.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I mean, if it didn't, I think someone would have gone to Jeff Bezos' house and like burned it down or something.
Jesus, Ron, you've been very passionate this episode.
But rightfully so, got renewed for a 2nd season. I am going to start watching this soon.
Do I still have Prime? If I do, I will. Why am I not watching that? I started watching Gotham before I watched this.
There's only 8 episodes, so you can get through it quite quickly.
How long are each episode? Because we say they're
like
Western.
40 minutes.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So that's what.
About 40 minutes.
Yeah, so. I guess that's why we can call it an animated show. A little bit over anime, because as most people might not know, anime are about 23 minutes each.
About 20 minutes, yeah. So renewed for season 2, so that's awesome. I'm really gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this soon. I just need to like get there. I need to encourage myself to watch it, because I'm terrible at starting to watch things, but once I get into it, I fucking watch it within a day. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because it looks really cool. Apparently, like the first episode, it's kind of like, oh, this is nice, and then like the last 10 minutes of the show just has you with your jaw to the ground, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is where we're going.
Apparently it is very dark.
Yes. One thing that's kind of pissing me off about this is that they're already, and this is really annoying, they're already looking into a live action movie for this. And it's like, leave it alone.
The whole point, the whole sell point of this series is that it's an it's a Western anime, and people are saying it's a better anime than most of the mainstream ones. The whole point is that it's an animated show. Leave things alone.
Yes.
Can't I edit that bit?
It's just so annoying. Like, it's on season 1. Leave this show grow before you destroy it. Leave it alone.
Leave it grow before you kill it. Wow, we're really expecting this to be shit.
It's being done by Robert Kirkman, which is the guy that does The Walking Dead.
Oh.
He did the comics, and he helped do the TV show.
Yeah.
He wrote all the Walking Dead comics, and he helped do the show. So like he obviously knows about comics and stuff like that. So, But he has said that it's going to be completely different to the TV show. Like, so it's going to be like two separate things.
Then what's the point?
Which is even stupider, because it's kind of like, okay, so what I see in the show has nothing to do with the movie, so why are we watching this?
Yeah.
You know? So it's really dumb, really stupid. It's on season 1. Leave the show. Like, it got such a great reception. And then you're gonna potentially do a fucking Avatar on it, and then if you do that, people might be like, nah, fuck this, I'm not watching the TV show anymore, because fuck this, like, the movie sucked. And then it's gonna be like, no, just leave it alone.
It's crazy.
It's so frustrating. Like, it finally gets it's getting there. It's got like season 2, and the hype for season 2 is coming, and it's kind of like, yeah, let's make a movie. It's like, what? It's just, I don't, what is with people and making just live actions of things that do well in animated? Leave it alone.
I don't know, it really annoys me. I am really looking forward to, speaking of like live action things, I keep seeing the phrase, just the 2 words, Moon Knight, and just getting so more and more excited about it.
You get, yes, that is the ice cream man at 12 o'clock.
It's not that nice out anymore. I'm surprised he's only coming around now.
It's a bit early for ice cream.
It's never too early for ice cream.
That's true. I had ice cream for breakfast today. Not just ice cream. I want to make that very clear. It was just not ice cream. It was ice cream on a waffle. Okay? So,
here we are.
We're not that unhealthy. But, yeah. I don't know why he's there. But anyway, we got sidetracked there. Moon Knight, you were saying.
No, I'm just saying I'm excited for that show. Like, there's like not many shows, especially superhero ones. I'm going to be a little bit contradictory of myself when I say I'm looking forward to a superhero show, purely because every other superhero show that's coming out centers around someone that's pretty big. Loki, Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, all of them are big enough people. Now with Shang-Chi coming along, that's a movie though, isn't it?
Shang-Chi's a movie.
Never mind. So like all those series are really kind of just centered around things that are well known and pretty big, and are going to be bless you, and can always center around kids things. The fact that this is a pretty not unknown now, but a not well known superhero, has a absolute like just hefty acting or actor cast. That's the word. Hefty fucking cast. And the fact that it's more going to be gritty, and I'm just like, it's given us just enough to keep us coming along. Dark. It's just, I that's one thing I genuinely am very excited about. And again, I could be a bit. Oh, something came up there. Excuse me. I could be a bit contradictory myself because we're constantly like, oh, we've got another superhero thing, great. I genuinely am, because I don't know if I can see this as a superhero thing or not. It just feels cool.
Yeah. It looks really cool. And like Moon Knight is like one of those things that like finally we're getting something that we just haven't seen ever. Like, we've never seen a Moon Knight unless like you read comics. You wouldn't know who Moon Knight is. And we're finally getting to see him. And he's just such a cool character, and again, he's really dark, which is always great. And I want to get your take on this. People are calling him Marvel's Batman.
Now,
what do you think of that?
To an extent, what I think they're more so talking about when they say Marvel's Batman is, I want to say the reason why that's coming up is purely because he's a hand-to-hand combat fighter in a white suit that like beats up different people in that type of style. It's a hand-to-hand combat. I think that's where people are coming.
And he's a rich boy.
Yeah.
You know, that's how he funds his vigilante, and he fights at night. So it's like, okay, so you're like Batman.
Yeah, you're very much like Batman. So in fairness, every time I think of it, I am probably one of the people that turn around and go, "Oh yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of Marvel's Batman." But at the same time, I don't think like it's impossible to say that he wasn't some form of like the Dark Knight wasn't a an inspiration for Moon Knight. But the thing is, he does have powers to an extent. He has supernatural powers, like he has enhanced strength and stuff
To an
like that.
extent, yeah.
And they're all
And
enhanced at night.
he's like he can't die or something like that.
No,
I think.
it's something like that. And like you can have prophetic. I'm looking at it here. He has like prophetic visions and dreams, and he can drain other people's life energies with physical contact. So like, look,
Yeah.
in the sense of that he's hand-to-hand combat, he's a rich boy that fights at night, and I can definitely say he's definitely inspired to some regard by Batman. And
To a certain degree.
oh yeah, of course. If you look at him, like he has a caped cowl and an armor style that isn't exactly too far away from Batman, but at the same time, he's not completely Marvel's Batman, because he does have he is an actual superhero. He has powers. He is quite dark, and as far as I'm aware, he does kill.
Yeah, that's what my next point was going to be. Batman's main thing and his main rule is he doesn't kill. Like that's his whole thing. I don't kill. I never kill.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the whole plot of like the Dark Knight. The Joker's trying to make him break his one rule, and Moon Knight does not have that rule. He does not give a fuck.
I think they actually think that I think they say that Moon Knight is some form, like he's just unstable. Like he's not. I don't think he's as together as like. Cause the whole thing with Batman is that he's so fucking smart and can utilize a lot of his abilities, or like his mind so well that he can overcome any superhero. Well, nearly any superhero or any supervillain, by using logic and his own planning thing.
Yeah.
Moon Knight is just insane.
Yeah, so like I feel like that's definitely something that we're going to see in this. It's going to be probably because this whole like visions thing that he's like he has dreams and shit like that, and that drives you crazy no matter what. So like we're definitely gonna go see that like someone just kind of lose the plot.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Batman doesn't really like he keeps his facade as Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is a chill playboy, and Batman isn't crazy. He just thinks and does what he thinks is best, and I don't think Moon Knight is like that whatsoever.
Yeah. Also,
Moon
Knight isn't necessarily a hero. He's just kind of there.
He's a vigilante.
Yeah.
He's a vigilante. He wouldn't necessarily be a hero. He does what he thinks is right. So kind of like an anti-hero then, I guess.
I think he does attack the Avengers at some point.
Yeah, so I guess he's an anti-hero. So for those who don't know what anti-hero is someone that does good but for their own self-interest only.
Yeah.
So like Deadpool does the right thing but for himself.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be like the Avengers that do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. He just does it because like it might save someone he loves, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But when is this out?
It's not for another little while.
Waiting a while.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, sadly.
Next year and unknown next year, so could be a year, could be 6 months.
I'd be willing to say it's gonna be like a summer release.
Yeah. It'll depend on when when they have their plan, you know, like where will it fit between like Hawkeye or fucking She-Hulk or something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll fall in between somewhere.
And you have piqued my curiosity of. Oh wait, Star Wars
What?
Visions is actually coming out on September 22nd. And
Oh, that's soon.
I know it's a bit off topic now, but you said release, and I know there's one more release I wanted to discuss a little bit before we moved on. And Star Wars Visions, I didn't know when it was coming out, but it's actually coming out the 22nd of September this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
That's quite quick.
Can't wait.
That is an animated show as well.
It's not even just an animated; it's an actual anime show. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, and it does look different. Obviously, not just style wise, but just in general. Like it looks like we're getting new characters never seen before, which is always great.
Yeah, well, it looks like a few of the short films are dealing with throughout history. It looks like it's going pretty far back, which is unreal. It's like going beyond the like back to the High Republic. I hope it looks like some of them, because I see a few like Jedi and Sith fighting, but they're definitely in older style garb. But it just looks so pretty, and the sword fights look so. Sorry, I call them sword fights, but the lightsaber duels just look so much more enhanced with this. Because again, look what we're coming from. We're coming from the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And fucking Rise of Skywalker. Now, the Last Jedi did have a cool lightsaber fight, but I can't exactly call it a lightsaber fight because the bastard wasn't even there, and I don't think there's lightsabers touch. The Rise of Skywalker had some of the worst lightsaber duels of all time. Like, I hate, and I genuinely hate that duel between Rey and Kylo Ren. I hate it when they're on the fucking
and the water.
on the water. It's
the water,
so janky. It's so slow. It's like water, water. I'm like, oh my god, we had Revenge of the Sith where there was fucking lava involved.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Say what you want about prequels, that they might be shite, whatever. Even the Clone Wars has good lightsaber fights. Like that one with Dooku, with Yoda and Anakin.
Sorry, Dooku's the name of the lead character in My Hero Academia, Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. Yeah. So like, say what you want about the prequels.
Oh fuck yeah!
They did lightsaber fights.
Oh yeah.
Like no other. Because even the original Star Wars, even the original trilogy has very poor lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, not as poor as the
not
the
as
new
poor,
trilogy.
but the thing is, you can watch the original trilogy and you can be, I understand, like you can see why they're like that, and like you're not cheated because it's such a different time that like when you see the lightsaber duels, like okay, fine, they're not like they're limited to what they could do. We can make do with it. But and then as you said, the prequels, you have Duel the Fates. Then you have like you obviously have Dooku versus Yoda, and you have a few other things as well throughout that. You don't really, but like
we had the Colosseum.
You had the Colosseum. I was about to say you had the Colosseum. So those last fights are unreal, and then you just have Revenge of the Sith. You just have the entire part of it. The
peak of Star Wars.
So fucking awesome. And I'd be very careful saying that. It's so good, and then we just had shit.
Yeah. Because, like, even in Force Awakens, which is the better of the three...
Oh, yeah, it's a good...
Like, even the fight between Kylo Ren and Finn and Kylo Ren and Rey was so poor.
So poor. I say, like, okay, you say, oh, he was injured. Fuck him. It doesn't matter.
Like, my whole thing with that is, like... How did... Okay, you can make an excuse for Rey being able to beat Kylo Ren because... You can make up excuses that like she's like the chosen one and like she was always the chosen one and like so like it's just in her blood.
That brings us on to a whole other argument though,
which we're not going to get into. So like let's just assume that she's the chosen one, blah blah blah, whatever, and like that's why she's able to use it really well. But why and how on earth did Finn? I don't think he bet him, but he pretty much put up a decent fight and didn't die to a guy that has been using a lightsaber since he was probably like 6 or 7. So like, how does someone that has been doing it for their whole life,
injured or not,
someone that has picked up a lightsaber 20 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
like injured or not, that should be easy.
Easy win. Fucking pick him up with your force. Do anything, man. Anything.
Yeah.
So like that was very poor. But we got really sidetracked.
Not really.
Not to do what we were on about.
No. In fairness, it is. That's kind of the main thing. Like those movies were not limited to what they could achieve when it comes to lightsaber duels, and they fucked it hard.
Yeah.
This show is so stylish; it can't be limited to anything. It's not limited at all. Just their time and their animators. That's it. So how stylish this looks. I'm looking at fucking Boba Fett flying. I cannot wait for this show.
Yes, it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and it just looks amazing. It just looks beautiful.
Yeah, we should move on.
But we move on now to video games, and I guess we're just going to stay on Star Wars for literally a second.
Okay.
When is this Lego Star Wars fucking game coming out?
Holy shit, that's a good question.
When does that come out?
That is a
'Cause
great question.
is that soon?
Release date 2020. There isn't. Oh no, it doesn't even have a release date.
Doesn't have one, so
No.
it might be a while.
It says 2021. The last thing that was said was it's delayed indefinitely.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good at all. Sad. I just remember the guy who pre-ordered it. Told him not to. I think I told him not to. Oh no, he did, and I was like, I don't. I was like, I voiced my dislike of pre-ordering games nowadays, so I was like, yeah, that's your fault. I did this, so I was proven correct.
But yeah, indefinitely, which is kind of disappointing because that game's gonna be fucking amazing.
Hell yes.
That game is just going to be the greatest Lego game.
As long, and I mean this clearly, as long as Legacy Mode means what I think Legacy Mode is, cannot wait.
Yeah. Even if it's not what it means.
Yeah.
Just to have new levels, because it's a completely new game. Like for those people that believe that this is just going to be like all of them put into one game, it's not. It's new levels, new game design and everything. So like it's like a completely different game than the original Lego Star Wars, all 6 episodes, and like the new ones. This is completely different. So
yeah.
But nonetheless, we move on because we've no date on that.
Sadly.
What you want to hit on first?
I'd like to exit out of this because it's not letting me leave. We do have one big enough thing that I kind of want to wait till the end.
Yeah, I was going to leave that to the end.
Yes. So, stick around for that bit. What else do we have in it? Because you had one or two things.
I had one thing. It was just we got a little more Battlefield stuff.
Oh, yes.
It's got a little more Battlefield stuff. We got the trailer for the Portal. That's what they're calling it, Portal. Which is what it says. It's a portal. So basically, it's kind of where you can make up your own game modes with your own rules and all this, and you can use. I'm pretty sure you can use any map ever in any Battlefield game. You can use any gun, any specialty class, any year, anything like that. So like they give an example where they go like it's a 4v32 game mode where it's like 4 people can use a helicopter and the other 32 don't have helicopters, but like they're like the 1940s soldiers, and so like it's kind of like that. It can be interesting if certain game modes will be interesting.
Yeah.
Some will be quite poor. But as long as they have a thing where you can go into the portal and there's servers, like they do have the servers for multiplayer. If they have servers for Portal that people can go in, make a game and just post a server,
That'd be cool.
and you can go in and play that certain game mode every now and then, and it's not a thing that I have to make it, and I can only play it with people and like that I know and such shit like that. If it's like that, that's awesome. Another one they show is like, I think it was like a 32v32 or 64v64. I can't remember what size it was, and it was like one side was like 1940s and the other one was like Battlefield 4, and like it was knives against defibrillators, which is fantastic.
That's something.
Which is
this Battlefield, and this is something that I think EA have started coming around with Battlefield. They always love to pay attention to the exploits and the achievements done by their community, and this is probably one of the biggest examples. Like, from their trailer to even now, is their biggest examples of how well this game loves to recognize its community. And there's always been a certain level of intimacy when it comes to Battlefield and their community, because when it comes to servers, you can rent your own one and you can have it public and you can run it and people will come and join and you can just play with random people. So like the developers will allow you to control your own game and they won't really penalize it in any way. So there's always been a kind of like a relationship between gamers and Battlefield that it's really come to light when Battlefield 5 came out, that it wasn't great, but since it wasn't great, people just admitted that it wasn't great, but they didn't slander it. They didn't absolutely tank it. They didn't like turn around and go, oh, this is stupid. Because like the biggest difference I think with Call of Duty and Battlefield is just the community. Call of Duty is such a toxic environment when it comes to different
every time. Yeah.
So like you could have this absolute banger of a game that comes out. Like you could have like Black Ops 3 that comes out, and it's absolutely, because the next one was World War 2, right? Or is it Infinite Warfare?
Yeah. I wanted to.
No,
go. I want to say Infinite Warfare.
Can't remember. But you could like have one really good game that came out, and the next game that comes out absolutely shoots it down. It just ruins everything. Now, okay, you can say that there are more Call of Duty games, so people are a bit more saturated. That's grand. But like, if you go all the way back to Call of Duty, the very first one, and then you build its way up, it's game after game after game of brilliance until you hit what? Like after, like it, I guess until you hit Ghosts, and even then,
probably Ghosts.
That's too probably hated Ghosts, of a game.
Yeah, it got overly hated.
That got way overly hated.
But it didn't live up to like the big ones. That's probably why it was overly hated. So I guess it would be that where it began.
Yeah, it'd be around there. You have all those games that led up to this apparent defeat, which it really isn't. And then since then, people have been so fucking like, oh shit, oh it's really good, oh shit, oh it's really good. They like, there's no in between with COD players. It's one or the other. But with Battlefield, if you go back to Battlefield 1945 and work your way up, it only starts getting bad at 4, and people will love to recognize that. Now 4 is released as a broken heat mess, but now people love it because they put effort into the game and they refine it, and now it's fucking awesome. People are still playing it.
And the thing is, it's because it's not released yearly.
Yeah, and they put more time in it.
I think that's the most important thing.
So when Battlefield 1 came out, people were almost willing to expect back then, okay, it's going to be a bit more limited than Battlefield 4, but it's still going to be pretty good. And we got a really good reception. Also helped by the fact that Infinite Warfare came out, and holy shit, was that a fail. That one I can accept. Yeah, you can have the toxic behavior with that. It was shit. And then Battlefield 5 came out, and people saw it was World War 2, and they were like, okay, bit more attention now to customization, stuff like that. But it's still going to be limited because it's World War 2. But when it came out, people were like, yeah, it's alright, it's pretty good. But they didn't say, okay, it didn't live up to 3, say. And we're like, oh shit, no, I'm not playing this anymore. It's grand, people still play it, people still make compilations of it. But now that this is coming out, it's like, here's what you've been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. And like, the thing with CODs is that they're yearly releases, but even like they've always been yearly releases. Like there hasn't since the first COD. Every year we've gotten a COD. Like there hasn't been a year that we didn't get a COD. But I feel like what has happened, and the reason it's just gotten really shit, is because in the old CODs, like I'm going to use Black Ops 3 as an example,
Okay.
we had season passes. And I think a season pass needs to come back if COD needs to do anything. And not the season passes that we get in like fucking
I know what you mean.
like the battle pass season passes. Like I mean like the season
DLC
pass
passes.
where they're a DLC pass.
Yeah, okay.
A DLC pass.
I got so confused because you were like, oh, the old ones had season passes. Like, the old ones didn't have fucking multiplayer for a while.
No. Like I mean DLC packs.
Yeah.
So like Black Ops 3 had DLC packs where you got not only zombie maps but multiplayer maps as well. So like there was constant updates during the year and constant fixing, constant just making the game better, proper balancing, not none of this like I balance one gun and break 11 others. Like proper balancing, proper updates. So like even a year of COD in Black Ops 3, for example, didn't feel like a year. It felt like a lot longer than a year because we got content every 3 months of new maps, new things, new that, and it was a one-time payment, and that was it. You got it. And then, but now it's kind of like all maps that are released are free, so like everyone gets them. So like if the map is shit, the map is shit. Who cares? You know, if a map was shit when you paid €60 for a DLC pack, or like for the DLC season pass, and you paid €60 for it, and the game came out and the map came out and it was absolute garbage. Oh boy, there was uproar. So no map was shit. They were all had to be good because otherwise you would have lost next year's DLC purchases because this year's DLC was shit. So it was actually a bit of like we gotta do good, otherwise we're gonna get fucked. So like that part of it is why I think if they just need to bring that back, I think.
Which is very, I want to say, kind of contradictory to what we said in the past.
Yes.
Because I know, like, we were like always, oh yay, free maps. But it, like everything, right? Like everything that we just goes for anything in life. If you want something, there's going to be a repercussion you don't understand just yet. You're not going to see.
Yeah.
And this is the repercussion that we didn't see when we were looking for free maps and stuff like that. Now, I'm more than willing to accept if Battlefield was to release free maps because they're so big and open, it's nigh impossible to get fucking wrong.
It's nearly
impossible. Even fucking Gollumwood Highway, which is just fields and a few buildings, is great because you can condense fighting into buildings, and people who like vehicles can go into vehicles in the fields. It's nigh impossible to fuck it up. But like, I'm playing Cold War again because I want a traditional multiplayer game, which we'll get to in a second, and on PC, and the maps are just so shit. I'm playing the same two over and over again. But the unseen circumstances that we didn't think about was because they're released for free, as you said, they can bang it out whenever they want. They just have to go here in the map, and they think that we're okay with it. I said this to you a few times. I missed the old Black Ops 2 like trailer releases for DLC packs because they were like
they used to get you so hyped. They even if like you lost interest 2 months into the game, by the time this trailer comes out, your whole interest is right back in it. And
I love when developers talk about, like, if you want to get these different camouflages as well on this map, here's the areas that you can do long range engagements, here's the ones where close range are. Like, they give you breakdowns, but now it's just, here's a map, here you go, and it's shit, and we can't say anything about it because it's free. But back then, as you say, we had a lot more of a voice because we were consumers at that point. We weren't just users.
Yes, we were paying like probably the same amount as the game because they were quite expensive. They were maybe €50.
True. You were paying for a decent special edition.
like, so you were paying decent. So like the maps that came out as DLCs had to be decent maps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you were gonna either get slated online or just people wouldn't buy the next one because they were shit this year. So like they were actually constantly putting in work during the year. But now what has happened with this Modern Warfare and Cold War and definitely the next one, it's like, why do we invest in an anti-cheat? Why do we invest in putting in good maps if we're just going to release a new game next year and you're going to buy it anyway?
Yeah.
So like, we'll trickle things in and out. We'll say we're fixing the anti-cheat by releasing mass dumps of people being banned, and like we'd add in a gun every couple of months and like a new map and shit like that. So like, whatever, but it's like we don't care if it's broken because we're just gonna give you a new game next year and you're gonna fucking buy it because that's just the cycle that COD has created. But I feel like if Battlefield is able to just destroy that whole concept of this, a game needs to be released every year, and that's just gonna kill it. And another game that's gonna kill it is Ubisoft's new game. Is I think it's called X Defiant. Tom Clancy's X Defiant. It's a free to play, so that's always interesting. We'll get to another free to play game in a minute.
We're running out of time, so you're gonna have to get to it fast.
We're grand. So like X Defiant is going to be a new free to play first person shooter. So that's going to compete with this year's COD as well, because it's like, okay, I got to choose now between buying COD, buying Battlefield. So which one do I choose?
Well,
I'll buy Battlefield.
There's even another stipulation. Say if you have the three games that were up there, Battlefield, X Defiant, and COD. If you're a person who's casual playing games and you don't necessarily, and say if you're a console player, this is coming on console, you spend €500 on this next gen and you don't really want to spend that much more money. Say you have a PS5, just for argument's sake, do you spend another €70 getting Battlefield? Do you spend another 70 getting the new COD game, which you're fairly certain is going to be shit, or do you just go for a free to play game for the moment until you get enough money to buy one of the other two? You'd go for the free to play for now if it's popular enough and if you keep going. Now, say if you're an Xbox player or a PC player and you have Game Pass, do you spend €70 on playing Call of Duty, which you have a feeling is going to be shit, or do you spend €80-ish on getting about 6 months of Game Pass and then possibly get Battlefield 4 for free and you get a free other game? I think I know what games I'm going to be playing in the end. If you're a Game Pass player, you're going to be playing fucking Battlefield, which also, if you're an EA Play member, which you get with Xbox Game Pass, you get the fucking beta even sooner for Battlefield. So why would I play Call of Duty if there's a free-to-play Ubisoft game, or I can just play Battlefield for free?
Yeah, and the other thing is that this X Defiant game is going to be out for years. It's not going to be a yearly thing. So like, you can play that for years. You can play Battlefield for years. You can play COD for a year before you have to buy the next one. So like, am I going to buy
Mike?
Mike?
Stop! Fuck, how did you do it?
My hand came up and I hit it.
Come on.
So are you gonna buy a game that you're gonna be able to play for the next 3 to 4 years, or a game that you're gonna play for a year? Okay, you can play it next year, but how many people are gonna be in it? And then after 2 years, no one's gonna be in it. So you're gonna be on your own. So you're gonna have to buy the next COD. But Battlefield 4 came out fucking years ago, and the lobbies are still jam packed.
It's impossible.
So like,
we wait.
I mean, I think
to get into lobbies.
There's queues, I mean, this is definitely the way. Ubisoft came out and they said we're going to do more free to play games. They came out, they did a first person shooter. Looks good, looks kind of fun. So hopefully that's good. Battlefield is looking just sweeter as ever, and I think the main one at the moment that is just killing COD is Splitgate.
Yeah, no. I have a little bit of an annoyance with it because I started playing Splitgate and I thought it was really good because if anyone doesn't know what it is, it's pretty much Halo plus Portal. It's very fucking fun.
Yes, that's basically
it. Now I started playing it and I was like, cool, this is very fun. But I was like, oh, its community is a bit. They're loyal, but there's not a whole lot of hype around the game, and it's just kind of there now, and there's not really a whole lot of things doing. And I prefer a little bit more of a traditional multiplayer game. And now people, mostly streamers, are not playing Warzone anymore and going to fucking Splitgate after I said I didn't want to play it. Now I get back into it.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, what happened was, like, Splitgate was just kind of under the radar, and it was only a PC game, and it was just kind of like flying under the radar. And then they were like, you know what, fuck it, it's console and it's crossplay, it's out there now. And then Twitch streamers kind of picked up on it, and they were like, you know what, this game's coming out, we got a console, we'll give it a go. They played it and they were like, yo, this is like, some of the streamers are like, yo, like, is this what fun feels like? Like, I haven't felt fun in a game in a long time because Warzone is just not fun anymore.
Look at you, Warzone.
So they're playing it. Like, so within, like, I saw somewhere, like, within a week, the Splitgate servers went from having about 5,000 players a week or a day, I don't even know what it was, 5,000 players to 65,000 players, which was the max capacity that they could hold. So, like, they went just, like, streamers were like, hey, look at this new game, and then everyone's like, okay, and then they start playing it, and they're like, yo, this shit is really, really fun. So, like, everyone's playing it now. So, like, Splitgate is, like, had I think a day where their servers were down because they couldn't hold people anymore.
I need to check today whether they're back up or not.
And I think they are, but the most interesting thing about this whole thing is obviously that they came out of nowhere, and, like, it's like they were 4 people developed this game.
Now,
4 people, when a AAA game is between about, like, 20 to 200 people developing a AAA game, and there was 4 of them, and they made a great fun game. Oh.
Imagine being those 4 people and be just sitting there at one point and be like, cool, we have another 5,000 today, and then the next day he goes, why are our servers down? Why are there like 600 or like, I think I don't know what their capacity was. It was like, why is there?
I think it was 65,000.
Okay.
I think it was.
So why are there 65,000 people on our server all of a sudden? Imagine being 4 people going, holy shit, we did it.
Yeah, and the most interesting and cool part about this is that when they blew up, and they knew they were kind of fucked, like, because they didn't have the server capacity. They got a $10 million investment. They got an investor that invested $10 million in on them, and they have said that they're going to invest that money into improving server capacity and server stability. They're going to improve further their anti-cheat.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice
and
it.
I think there's another third one I can't remember.
Yeah.
But, like, that's how big of a hype this game has created. That, like, within a day or two, they got a $10 million investment to improve their game. That's insane.
It was one thing I definitely noticed with the anti-cheat, that when I played it earlier on, I didn't notice an anti-cheat or anything like that. But then I opened it the other day, I was like, this has an anti-cheat. Do you want to start? I was like, huh. What other AAA game doesn't have an anti-cheat? I've never seen this before. A fucking 4-person thing says, hey, look at anti-cheat. I was like, cool, great, Warzone, put the fucking anti-cheat in. 4 people can do it.
Yeah, so, like, this has just been amazing. They got their massive investment, and, like, 10 million is massive, but it's not even a crazy amount.
No,
like, they could easily get more.
Oh yeah.
So, like, and they're gonna improve their server capacity, so more people will be able to play it. There'll be less crashing, because there was a lot of crashing because their server was just overloaded. So they've improved that, and they're gonna improve their anti-cheat. So, like, those lads, like, really have done themselves proud. And honestly, I haven't played it. I'm going to play it tonight, and I cannot fucking wait to get
I'm
it
going to
out,
spend
I've seen a lot of gameplay
practicing.
and it just I just seen so much gameplay on it, and it honestly looks really, really fun.
It is.
Like, it just looks amazing. So, like,
it's a real underdog story, and I love it.
Love it, absolutely love it, and I love the fact that, like, big streamers are, like, really backing this game. They're like, hey, look at this. This is so much better. And like, they're not just coming out and being like, oh, look, I'm playing Splitgate. They're literally coming out and being like, this is so much fun. This is so much better than Warzone. Stop playing Warzone. Like, all the TikToks from like Twitch streamers, because Twitch streamers are like really big into TikTok, they're like, are you ready to have fun and are sick of like Warzone? Because Warzone is just not fun. Play Splitgate. They're all saying that. Even lads that had CoD sponsorships are saying that CoD isn't fun and Splitgate is the one to go. Like, that's insane.
Crazy.
So like, definitely underdog story.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see it, and I'm just so happy, and hopefully, because we do hate CoD a lot on this show.
Yeah.
We do. But I really hope that between Splitgate, X Defiant, Battlefield, between these 3 games, they're able to just go, CoD are able to take a step back and go,
fuck.
Okay, shit, let's get back to where we were.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, it was literally like, there was no other shooter game. It was literally like, you get CoD if you want a shooter game, and that's it. But like, with these 3 games, they're really gonna have to like look at themselves and go, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, how is it possible that Warzone has been out for 2 years now and we don't have a proper anti-cheat, but a Splitgate has a much better, they're double investing into anti-cheat with a lot, like probably not even a tenth of what the money that CoD has.
Yeah.
So like, they should be really ashamed.
Oh, they should be.
And I we do hate CoD a lot, but hey, we love CoD more than the next guy. You know, so like, if you give us a good CoD,
we'll play it.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
But just get better, because for the moment, for the foreseeable future, I do not see me buying a CoD game for the next 2-3 years, because I'll have Battlefield, I'll have X Defiant, I'll have Splitgate, and I'll have other games that will also come out that will just be like, hey, I don't care, I don't want to get CoD. So they're gonna have to really wow. This next one is fucked already.
Oh, yeah.
So like, next year's one, they're gonna have to really blow me out of the water if they're gonna want my money.
That's a really shame.
Yeah.
Just to very quickly, it's also a shame that their company, which is Activision, has Blizzard in it, is getting a lot of flack as well. So there's so many things going up against CoD at the moment. So let's hope we get back. But for this point,
hey, yeah, but at the moment I don't care, because we got so many great games. For a long time, we were complaining that we had nothing, and now we have Splitgate, which is amazing, and get more. So yeah, that's all. That's all we have.
Yeah, that's all for us though. What did I just say?
That's all for us though.
Go.
Right. Yeah. Make sure to follow us on everything: Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. And yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye bye.